What's up, everyone? My name is Danielle. I am the CEO and co-founder of The Connect. Thanks for tuning in to our special chat, The Connect and Alternative Blacks podcast, presented Introduction to a Career in Sports, Volume 3, Esports Edition. Before we jump in the chat tonight, I want to introduce our co-host for this evening, one half of AB's podcast, Mr. Tyler Washington. How are you doing tonight, Tyler?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here. Esports is a very fascinating industry, and I can't wait to have this discussion.
All right. Let's get into it. We're joined here today by two champions from the professional NBA2K League, Ryan and Reese. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good. Oh, you want to go ahead?
Go ahead. You go. You got it.
I'm doing good today. Obviously, me and Reese have been together, playing the game together probably for about 4 years now. So, yeah, we've known the game and we've played together for a while now. And we understand esports. We understand the grind it takes and the content aspect of it, and everything that goes with it.
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You guys are like the inaugural season of the professional league, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
The very first season we were a part of.
That's pretty awesome there. So first question, obviously, people like maybe myself or Tyler or anyone else listening, who may dabble in 2K, think we have the skills to join a team. How do you go about trying out and then becoming a professional?
You want me to take it, Reese? You got it.
Yeah, you got it.
So going about kind of being a professional and like trying out is, well, first you have a huge community. Just like in anything in life, there's like a huge 2K community, and you basically get involved like that. Start playing competitive pro-am. If it's tournaments, if it's leagues, whatever it is, you basically get out there and just try to find people to play with. And they kind of changed up the way to get into the league this past year. They used to have a combine system where anybody could basically qualify if you were over 18. You basically won X amount of games, and if you had a good enough winning percentage, you could basically try out through the combine, which the combine was just like any other combine. You would load up with 4 other people, play against another 5, and you basically have your stats recorded and stuff like that. This past year, though, they added a tournament system hosted by league teams. So some of these league teams, like, I was in the Wizards, so was Reese, and they had actually a live event for our tournament. So like we got to see some of these guys that weren't in the league yet basically come to our practice studio, our practice facility, and see how they acted, for a lot of money and for basically a draft spot in front of, other people, and see how they would kind of react towards, whenever pressure's on and stuff like that. So it's a really dope concept. It's a really cool dynamic. And it was, it's definitely, I feel like it's definitely growing in the right way. So yeah, it's really unique in its own way for sure.
Definitely.
Now, I'm assuming this is probably one of those changes that might have come because of COVID. How else were we seeing changes happen throughout the league? What changed differently? Because when I think 2K, I've always thought like myself at home playing, against somebody on the computer. But what does the world of esports actually look like?
Go ahead, Reese.
No, before COVID, it was like a big thing where we all traveled to New York and we like meet each other, hang out with each other, and like we compete face to face. So, like every weekend we would go fly out there for our games. Like we'll go home for scrimmages and stuff, practice, but every week we have a game and we would fly to New York and we would compete face to face, and the energy there is amazing. And it was definitely like after COVID, when they settled down, it was like something that a lot of people definitely have to be in tune with and check it out.
Yeah. I saw some of those matches that you guys had back when I used to work for Monumental Sports. You guys used to get intense in there. It was fun. It was definitely fun to watch. So I saw some heated exchanges from Ryan and some other people on there. So it was definitely interesting to see.
That's the guy right there, Big Ryan. Always talking to smack.
Now it's like, esports just kind of going on a little bit more. You mentioned talking smack. Is that how you get in the heads mostly, Ryan, or is that your ammo?
Yeah, definitely. When you kind of like me, Reese, and other guys that played like sports growing up, or you just had a different life before. You kind of I played college baseball before, right? And basically, majority of baseball is a mental game, and so like I feel like 2K and that had that in common. That's why I love 2K. So I kind of used that to my advantage when I first got in, because some of these guys, they've never really had a real job or never really played sports before. They were just really good at the game. They were just really talented at what they did. And I wanted to see how they would act if somebody, yelled at them, somebody was just kind of, in their head, and it kind of worked out for me. So it was just one of those things where I kind of use that to my advantage. Obviously, Reese knows, he's played with me on stage plenty of times, and Reese is like that too. Reese will get up and chat to you. Don't let him fool you a little bit. He'll get up and chat to you. So, like, it's just having an understanding of, like, you have an edge when you play sports, when you've went through real life stuff and stuff like that, when you play against some of these guys that are just really good at the game, and you just want to see how they'd act when somebody's actually chatting to them, and they're talking to them, calling out what they're going to do and stuff like that. So it's definitely it's a unique dynamic for sure. And that's why I kind of like the game so much. It's a real mental battle, all games.
Yeah. So Reese, now that you guys are on two different teams, what is the trash talking between the both of you guys like now?
It's not really a lot of trash talk because I have so much respect for my guy Ryan. It's just like I always consider this guy a brother for the rest of my life because what we've been through together is amazing. So it's like, but with him, it's just like, competitive brotherly talk, but it's nothing really that serious, because I love this guy. This is my guy for sure. It's one of the guys I'm really close with.
That's great. Being champions, let's walk through that process there. Like, is it you guys still on cloud nine? You have people coming after you, gunning for you, saying anything crazy, or just kind of everyone owns the respect to you guys for being champs?
The champion thing is crazy for me and Reese because season 1 we didn't play together. He was on the Wizards and I was on the Mavs. I got traded there in season 2. He got brought back and we had a bad season our season 2. So we kind of were the cornerstones basically for our team in season 3. We were the only 2 players kept from our season 2 team. So we kind of basically built this team around me and Reese, and it was like one of those things that was just it didn't seem obtainable when we first started the season. It didn't seem like we would be a championship team, and as the season went on, we started to see how good we were and stuff like that. And it's something that I'll never forget. Like, I'll always have respect for Reese, and just like that whole grind we basically went through where we were bad in season 2. We weren't a great team, and it was like we turned it around. We just kind of kept our head down and kept doing what we were doing. It was a really special thing. And now we kind of all have that respect by the community, but it's, a lot of guys, they want to see us do it again. They're like, oh, that's your only one you're going to get, whatever. So it's definitely still a lot of competitiveness going on. So it's definitely a fun thing, especially being on top and, winning it and then have to do it again.
Yeah.
So from going from first picking up a stick to play some video games, I'm sure you guys never imagined getting to this level that first time you picked up a controller. But what were some of the harder soft skills or mental things that you needed to overcome, or mental strengths that allow you to reach such a pinnacle?
You want me to go, Reese? You got it.
I just want to say, just being away from your family, it takes a big toll on you. Being able to meet these new people and creating a bond, creating a brotherhood, just that tolls a lot on you. So when we got there season 3, that's what we were preaching a lot. We gotta come together, create this bond, create this brotherhood. 5 people make a fist. On the court we talking. It's just amazing, man. It's just when I see it come full circle, it's a dream come true.
Yeah. Kind of add on to what he was saying is the hardest part about the whole deal is you got to realize you're dealing with 5 other personalities, and you're dealing with 5 other people that haven't been talked to or raised like how you were. So it's you have to be able to adjust how people react to certain situations and vice versa, and you can't talk to everybody the same. And it was one of those things that it definitely strains you mentally sometimes because stuff doesn't go your way, whatever, but it's so rewarding when it all does click and it comes full circle. Like you said, it's so rewarding.
Yeah. And then correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys almost live together, you play together, you guys are in the same apartment buildings. It's completely different from a professional athlete. They practice together and then they go home to their separate places. So that bond that you guys must create, it must definitely helps a lot, I'm sure.
Definitely does.
Yeah. So definitely, kind of if you can walk us through once the season's over, championships are done, what are you guys up to during that off season?
You can go first, Ryan.
Yeah, so with me, in off season, obviously we still play the game. I'm real big about content creation and stuff, with streaming, making YouTube videos, just trying to build my brand in that way. But the biggest thing that I focus on mainly when I'm in the off season is just spending time with your family. Whenever your season, we had season 3, the COVID year and stuff like that, where you're in quarantine for so long, you didn't get to go home for 6-7 months. And you take that for granted when you don't get to see, the people that, really, really depend on you and you depend on them. So that was a huge thing for me, especially this past off season. But mainly it's just, you play the game, obviously, you get back in the gym, start trying to eat right, because you create some bad habits when you're just playing the game every day. So
like he said, I went home, spend time with my family. That's the biggest thing to me, just spending time with my family, getting back, catching up with them. Also, like he said, he had this content creation. I went back home and worked on my clothing brand. That's one thing I really want to push is my clothing brand. And he got it on, I got it on. That's why this is my guy right here. He always supported me from day one. I love this guy. But like he said, just spending time with your family is like the biggest thing you have to do going back home, because like you said, you won't see your family for 6 to 7 months.
Yeah. Now talk to me about, you guys are both former athletes. Ryan, you played baseball in college. Reese, you did a bunch of different things, skateboarding from this, that, and the other. Talk about the training that you guys do to stay mentally in shape and also physically in shape for the league.
Go ahead. You go first.
the biggest training probably is the bond. Like the grind is the hardest, is like getting everybody on the same page and making sure everybody feels like their voice is heard. Everybody has to be a leader in a sense where it's like everybody has to be able to talk. And I feel like that's the hardest thing to get over. But training that I do personally is I work out every morning, 9:30 in the morning, just to because I feel like it's physical meditation. I feel like you need it. When you stare at a screen for 6-7 hours a day with the same people every single day, and the antics of everybody, you're gonna get tired of it eventually. So you're gonna have to be able to get some of the aggression out, some of that irritation out. So I feel like obviously the gym is great, and then I just go on walks a lot too. I walk to work every day and just to clear the mind and stuff like that.
Yeah, like you say, working out a lot, but not me. See me, I'm gonna go work on my clothing brand, probably go skate a little bit, just like you said, take a walk or something like that. Just get away from the screen, get some alone time, just chill by yourself. And that's how I get my mental right.
Yeah.
One of the questions that I had, when you think esports and when you think about playing video games online, you have these teams that are put together, and you know these players. You can see, the person that's actually controlling what's happening on screen and in the game. Can you walk us through other roles and positions that are outside of the players?
You got that one, Reese.
Can you repeat the question?
So for people that want to get into esports and maybe they don't have a 2K dominance, right? Is there other ways that people can get involved with a team like the Wizards or something, where they could get a position?
Oh yeah, for sure. One of my players on my team, his name is Bobby. He actually really wants to coach, so he was working with the University of Grand Canyon University or something I think that's what it is. I'm not completely sure, but he was an assistant coach and helped the players with a lot of stuff. So when he came here, he helps with a lot of film and schedule scrims and stuff like that. So he's real big on the coaching side of stuff. So it's it's not only all about playing, also like you said, the film, the getting the scrims, and just making sure everybody's mental is right and making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do is a big way to get in the 2K community as well.
Yeah, to kind of go off of that too, you can also you got social media coordinators and stuff that run team pages. You got
for sure, yeah.
We have marketing operations people who basically all their jobs is just to basically get sponsors for our teams. We have people like that. We also you have videographers. You have multiple videographers. Honestly, you have a bunch of a content basically group that tries to basically make series around us and content creation around us. So there's actually a lot more that goes into esports on that side than probably we know, but that's stuff that we're exposed to is the social media coordinators and the videographers and stuff like that, people that are actually making the show run, make us actually look like we have a little bit of stuff that goes on around us and stuff like that. So
for sure, yeah.
For me, I'm always interested on the sponsorship side and esports and sponsorship in general, how much revenue and money is put into the game from your Toyotas, from your, DoorDashes and different type of sponsorships there. When you guys talking about the individual player like yourself, Ryan and Reese, do you all foresee potentially getting individual sponsorships. So you would be sponsored by Alexis Ryan, or you, Reese, Vans, for an example there. Is that something you foresee happening?
Most definitely. I
Definitely.
was about to say that. I've been working on my own stuff for a while. You have Scuff, right? Scuff makes controllers. I've been talking to that guy for a minute now, and it's just all about timing. If whenever it's ready. We're still super early in our league seasons, but it's definitely that's always going to be the goal. Obviously, I just feel like if you can have your own personal brand and get somebody to actually sign you on to represent them, I think that's the coolest thing in the world. I don't think there's anything else that can amount to that, especially from playing video games. It's so cool to me.
For sure. Definitely. I agree with him completely, 110%. It's going in the right direction. It's, like you said, still early, but that's the end goal for sure.
Yeah, I know on Twitch, you guys have that persona of that. So I could foresee sponsors coming on there, having you guys have their logos on whatever you guys are doing on there. And I could see that being a big moneymaker actually in the near future, probably. It's already there. Esports is such a big money opportunity for sponsors. I foresee you guys kind of making some individual sponsorships there pretty soon.
For sure.
Yeah, it's my interest. Of course, I worked in sponsorships, so I'm always interested in seeing how that partnership works out with the players, with the teams, having those different types of deals there. So I'm curious to see how quickly it's going to take on and how easily accessible the players are going to start to be treated as individual athletes as opposed to a team. So definitely something to keep our eyes on there.
Definitely excited for that part to come up. Definitely excited for that.
Yes, definitely. Right.
And I know a part of the conversation we're looking to have today is looking towards the future of esports and where the league is heading. I hope I'm not jumping the gun with bringing this up, but I just would like to get your personal opinions on where you think the sport is heading.
I think it goes international soon. I think we're going to have there was talks last year before COVID. We were supposed to have a couple of soccer clubs from Europe going to join and basically have their own team and try to reach that whole international side of things with the Europe players, because we have Europe players in the league right now. We have Mario, we have Australia player Milo, but it's not as big as an outreach as it is kind of in the NBA. And I feel like that's the disconnect of for it to really blow up. And I think once we reach that as a community and as a league, that's going to be the big breakthrough for everything. Because Mario, the guy from Europe, he actually got an Adidas partnership, I believe. So yeah, it's huge over there. They love 2K over there, and that's gonna have to be the big breakthrough for us for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
the sky's kind of the limit with that whole deal, because if everybody kind of keeps building their own brand, individual brands, like Reese does his thing, I do my thing. It's there's no telling where it could end up. It could be just like COD. It could just be Overwatch, League of Legends, all that stuff. It's just it's just all kind of based off of what we put into it.
Yeah. Now, do you see other esports teams coming in like yourselves? You have the let's just see, Euro Cup. I don't know if there is a league already with that, but other sports, I know they're trying to do a hockey similar to what you guys have. Are you guys that caveat and everyone's following your guys' model, or how's that kind of working? I don't know if you have any intel on that.
I think Jordan last year with the Cavs gaming, I think Jordan tried to do something like that, Reese. So I was about to say, so actually we had our social media guy, our social media manager, he actually started Caps Gaming, which was the first big NHL team that actually paid players, professional NHL players, to stream, create content and stuff like that. I don't know if they'll ever get to team-based, kind of how 2K is, because 2K is kind of unique in sports games in that situation where in 2K, you can, basketball is a 5-on-5 sport. So it's every other sport's a little different, because you got sixes in hockey, which I could definitely see in NHL kind of, doing that thing eventually. But I think 2K is really unique because just in anything, it's just a team-based thing, and it's super competitive. Kind of like in Madden and stuff, it has to be a single player game because there's 11 on each side. So it'd be way too hard to actually do a team thing. Same with MLB, the show, and stuff like that. But I can see NHL going there. But I think definitely I think 2K is kind of in its own lane right now with that stuff, with the team aspect anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. And then one question I have, personal question, I guess I would say, is females breaking into the 2K League. I know we had some Ariel Powers AP. She plays with, she's great in what she does. some other female players out there, but do you see that becoming more of the norm with females interacting on the teams there and being professionals with you guys?
Yeah, definitely. Like, was it season 1 when Chiquita was drafted, right? Or was that
Season two. Season 2.
The season 2. See, she made ESPN, everything. Like, that was just a big thing for us. This year it was 2 girls drafted into the league. So I feel like it's just going to keep growing and growing in the future. It's definitely a normal thing. Girls are great at the game. I definitely watched Twitch streams, watched them play with them. They're definitely great players. They can fit in right with us, So I feel like it's definitely a normal thing going forward.
Most definitely.
Does the trash talking go harder from the female athlete, or is it?
I could actually speak on that a little bit. So I did a women in gaming camp in the off season, hosted by the league, and it was funny because like one of the girls that I thought was probably the best player from the whole camp, she didn't make it. Her name is Hazel Childress, I believe, and she was chatting, like she was just talking, like she was on my team, but like we were playing another team, and she was like, she was crazy. She was a point guard. She could dribble. She moved just like everybody else. She was just as good as everybody else, and like it was just funny because like she knew she was like that, so it was like she was just chatting. And that's the cool dynamic with it all. It's like that's what I'm really hoping it keeps growing in that direction because it's gonna be so cool. It's just a super cool dynamic that's like no other esports really gonna have.
Yeah, definitely. So Reese, question for you. 5 years down the road, what do you see yourself doing outside of maybe still in esports? We don't know, where's your kind of future looking like?
I definitely want to open up my own clothing boutique in the future. Hopefully I'm still a part of the league, coaching, playing, it doesn't matter to me. I love this whole organization. Everything with the league is amazing to me because, I grew up playing video games. So it's like, I feel like I'm always be a part of it. But definitely outside of the game, I want to own my own clothing boutique, keep pushing my clothing as far as I can, take care of my family and stuff like that, make sure everyone's good and healthy,
Yeah. Drop that clothing line again. Let's put that out there again for you.
Swim season, man. That's what it is. It's all out rock.
Do you want to share the story behind the name?
Oh, okay. All right. So in 2017, like I was skating heavy, like I was trying to become a professional. But I came to LA just to skate. I didn't even come out here to view or anything. I just came to skate all the perfect skate parks they have out here. And then one day I was like over skating and I hurt myself really bad. I thought I broke my ankle, but it was just like a really bad roll. And I was on crutches. And then like I always wanted to start my own clothing brand because before my father passed away, he had his own boutique as well. So like I always wanted to follow his footsteps. So, but I was on crutches, and then the next day my friend actually rolled his ankle as well. And then I seen a lady, she was limping into a 7-Eleven, and I was like, dang, it's limp season. And then I rung bells in my head. So I kept pushing it. When I got back home, I made some shirts and I sold out really quick. So I was like, when I make some extra money, I'm just going to continue to push it. So when the league came around, it gave me extra money in my pockets and it helped me start up the brand actually.
Yeah. Ryan, same question for you. Where do you see 5 years down the road? What are you doing?
5 years down the road for me is crazy. I have a bunch of stuff I want to do. Actually, when I go back to Texas this time around, I'm starting my own food truck, and we're actually opening 2 food trucks with me and my dad and his buddy and a couple of my buddies back at home. Basically, that we're going to try to push it into basically being a restaurant eventually. My dad's, he has a competition smoker. All he does is make barbecue. So that's his stuff. And he loves it. He loves he loves cooking and stuff like that. So I told him, let's put some money into it. So I'm basically want to do that. And obviously I want to be a part of the league. I've always wanted to be a coach. Like Reese can attest to that. He's played with me long enough. He knows how I am. I know the game really well. And that's when I am done playing, I do want to be a coach for an organization. I feel like I have the intangibles to be it. But most definitely the food truck stuff with my dad's going to be exciting.
No, that's pretty awesome. 2 food trucks. That's a nice little feat right there. I like it. So
I just want to say this.
Yes.
If you're ever in Texas, check out my man's food. Check out the truck because what he posts on the internet, the stuff looks amazing. I have to go and try it when I get there. It looks amazing.
Yeah, you definitely, when you open that up, you definitely have to let us know. We'll be down there for sure.
Anytime, y'all are welcome. Anytime.
There we go. Speaking of, being a coach and mentoring, younger people just getting into the league, what advice would you have for someone who wants to break in to the esports world as either an athlete or professional athlete or as on the business side?
You got it, Reese.
For me, I just feel like if that's your dream, that's your goal, don't let no one stop you from doing that. Never take no for an answer. Continue to push for it. That's what I did. A lot of people told me season 1 that I probably wouldn't make it, but I just kept going for it, and look where I'm at now. I'm a champion in the league that people said I wasn't going to be in.
Do you guys have the rings to show off the championship?
Oh yeah, I got you right here.
Right.
All right.
It stays close,
Yeah, it always does. That's one thing. It does.
This thing is amazing.
When you get that like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And what's cool about them is like
really
it's a real ring. It has your name on the side of it and stuff. It's dope. It's just really cool stuff, man.
Delaney, Reese.
So awesome, man. And that's something nobody could ever take from us. Yeah, it has every playoff series in the middle.
The series we played and everything. Super nice, man.
That is nice.
Very grateful for this.
I don't blame you for keeping it close, guys. I know those are definitely nice for sure. So one final question, unless Tyler, you have any other?
I think my question would be kind of talking about, I think Reese, you're from Chicago, right? And
Yes,
Ryan, you're from Palmer. Is that correct?
Palmer, Texas, yes, sir.
Right. So we got like big city like Chicago, and then we got Palmer. Is there a competitive edge from where you come from? Or is it something that's kind of accessible for like all people? Because that's not always the case with a lot of different industries.
You got
I feel like the competitive edge is kind of how it is as a person. Like me and Reese, like believe it or not, obviously we're brothers, but like at season 2, when we were bad, it was every day we were fighting. Like we were arguing because we understood that if me and him didn't show up, like if we didn't play well, we didn't have a chance to win the game. So like we held each other to a standard. And it wasn't even like where you from, nothing like that. It was just we had respect for each other, and we understood the money involved. And it's really just about maturity, if anything. It's like just understanding that's a job. It's it's not just a video game. Obviously, it is a video game, but it's more than that. When you can change your life with some of the money you can make in this profession. So we knew like coming in season 2, like Reese wanted it. He wants to open up his clothing shop, his own boutique, and like with me, I wanted to be a business owner. I wanted to do that. So we understood like there was a bigger goal at hand, and it was bigger than just us. It was all non-selfish, and it was all love. It was nothing like took to heart. And me and Reese, I'm telling you, I wish we could have some old videos of us back in season 2 when we used to get into it, because it used to get really heated. But like it all works out in the end. We obviously both end up being champions. But it was definitely one of those things. It was a real grind. It was one of those, like, for real.
So take me back. We have a segment we always call the shit. I'll put the shit that you wish you knew when you first started in your career. So now being a couple, you seasoned vets now. What did you wish you knew when you first entered this life that you guys have now? What's something you would tell your younger self now that you're the vet?
Oh man, I got a bunch. Save my money, number one, from the get-go. Obviously, win the championship helped, but save the money. And the second thing is, outside noise doesn't matter from other teams. Everything matters. The only people that matter, the only thing that matters is within your team. And I wish I would have told myself that when I first came to the league, and I didn't get to understand it until season 3. And obviously we ended up winning the chip that year, but that's a real thing. Like just understanding like the camaraderie in between your teammates, and basically creating that bond is the biggest thing. That's by far the biggest thing that I learned. Definitely.
Reese, what about you?
He hit it right on the head. First, I was gonna say save your money. That was like a big thing with me. I was like always buying shoes and just spending my money crazy. But yeah, he hit it right on the head. But like you said, like that bond that you have to build with these people, these new people that you meet, is a really big thing, And also, like you said, like blocking out the noise from the other teams. Like I hate when people are like talking trash in group chats, or just talking to this man, talking to that man about your team or about another player. Just block all that out. Lock in with your 5 guys, 6 guys on your team. And just like, like I said, it's a bigger goal. Like you can change your life, you can change their family's life. And that's why I feel like season 3, we clicked so well. We all bought in to like change the lives of our families back home, the ones that support us and the ones that we have to go home and support. You know, at the end of the day, it's just like it's a bigger goal. It's not only plan for yourself, we plan for your family as well and the people next to you.
I like that. I like that. Family first. That's always important there. So
Definitely.
to end this conversation that we have, you know, myself, my team, the Connect, we always like to end any chat we have, any meeting we have a little segment called Foul or No Foul. So it's like either a pop culture reference or anything in sports related that we always discuss. If it's a foul, you don't agree with the statement. No foul, you agree with the statement. So like, for example, one of our recent ones we did was obviously collegiate players being able to get paid with the NIL going on. Is that a foul? We don't agree with it, or no foul? You do agree with it. So for you guys, my question or my statement would be, winning an MVP, it's kind of to you, Ryan, winning an MVP is more important than winning a championship. I know you won both, but in a different atmosphere, winning the MVP individually is more important than winning the championship as a team. Foul or no foul?
That was a huge foul.
Foul.
Huge foul. Huge foul. That's a flagrant foul. Like, you don't understand, like the individual, yeah, the individual stats don't matter. Like, you don't understand when you win something, like I said, I obviously have won stuff here and there, like the individual stuff. It doesn't matter because like it's not with your team. Like, it's not like that bond you create and that like trust you create with each other after you win something together is like you can't put a dollar sign on, you can't put an accolade, any recognition on it. It's unbelievable.
No, I like that. Yeah, like we said, family first, right?
Always.
Guys next to you is more important than the individual stat.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've all played on teams individually, and you know, I played tennis. Tyler played tennis. Individual, yes, we won. That's always great. So it's a little different, but you know, it's always better to win, to win as a team as a whole and take home that championship there.
Definitely.
So that definitely concludes our night. I want to thank you both. Thank you, Reese. Thank you, Ryan, for being on this call with us tonight. It was great chatting with you guys. I wish you nothing but the best of luck. And hopefully it'd be kind of cool to see you guys face off in the championships. That might be a nice little interesting. Then we have to catch up with you both there and see who wins that battle there. But thank you guys again.
Thank you so much for having us. It was really fun. It was a really cool setup. Love the questions. It was awesome. Thank you so much.
Great. And thank you, special thank you to Tyler for co-hosting us tonight. So definitely appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me. This was fun.